it's Michaela again. Yeah, so this make this little video. How many of you trans girls have been to public hot pools out as yourself? Well, me, 2 nights ago, yeah, I can say I've done it. Yeah. Quite a rattling sort of experience, really. Really kind of bearing everything to everyone, aren't you? You know, your whole body's on display. Wow. Yeah, so going to the pools with my brother, which was lucky enough to have someone to go with, and he's quite understanding with me and what I'm going through. And so you're in the changing sheds, you're putting your bikini on, shorts. I've got a picture of it, I'll put on this video. But, well, so at first, you know, I wasn't really that scared to go out. I don't really care. I mean, I don't really care what people think anymore. I just don't give a shit. But yeah, the funny thing about it was, like, I got out in the pools and sort of sitting there for a bit, and yeah, geez, you wouldn't believe how many people were looking at me. I just felt like, am I a star or something? Like, am I famous? Well, why is everyone looking at me? Like, far out. Tough experience there, you know. Yeah, and so, you know, most of the time I can just brush that off and sort of ignore it. But, you know, it's quite hard when you're in the public pools and you're in a bikini and, you know, your body's not, yeah, it is feminine, but it's not totally feminine. So people are going to be like, something's going on here. Yeah, so I kind of tried to find a place in the pools where there weren't so many people, so they weren't looking at me. And yeah, I kind of found just the fact that everyone was looking at me sort of set me off on a tangent. And yeah, I kind of just started getting pretty freaking crazy. And my brother sort of had to deal with this. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm harping on about trans rights and being able to be out in the pools like this, and why the hell is everyone looking at me and all this, and you know, the usual. But it was pretty bad because, you know, at the end of the day I felt quite embarrassed about it, because, like, you know, it's like a switch flicked and I just went into crazy mode. And yeah, like, I just wish I would have just sat there in silence, or just, like, enjoyed and relaxed in the pools, but it just wasn't like that. And yeah, so the switch got flicked, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like this dysphoria that's in your head that's like telling you, oh, you look like a man in a bikini and you're walking around, and that's the reason why everyone's looking at you. And funny thing is that I actually needed to use the toilet, so I went to the toilet, and funny enough, they had a full-size mirror in the toilet. So I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, hell no, that's not a man sitting there looking back. I look like a fucking beautiful hot chick, like, looking back in the mirror. There's nothing wrong with this image in my eyes. And I don't know if that's like some sort of confidence that you get because you're more confident in yourself, but sort of translated to, like, me behaving even more badly and upsetting everyone in the pool. And funny thing was, the lifeguard came out and they were about to throw me out. You know, I just don't know what happened. It was just that switch got flicked, and all of a sudden you go into dysphoric fight or flight mode and start fighting, and there was no reason for it. There's no reason for fighting. Nobody was giving me a hard time. Nobody was laughing at me, yelling at me, telling me what. It wasn't like that, you know. It was just all in my head. And yeah, I guess you other girls have been through the same sort of situations, like where it's like the switch gets flicked. Somehow I need to learn how to flick the switch back, so it's just like back into normal mode, because like it was totally unhealthy and totally embarrassing, and my poor brother had to sit there and listen to all this. And wow, yeah, what an experience. I think next time I go to the pools, I'm actually not going to go to those pools because it wasn't very private. There wasn't anywhere you could sort of sit and just be left alone. Everyone's in your face. And that was quite a problem. But realistically, all in all, I could go to those pools and I could go in there. Like, nobody was like verbally assaulting me, or like people were sort of like pretty accepting. It's just the looks that you get that kind of take me off, that set me on that tangent. And far out. The tangent that I have to flick off when I start getting crazy, because like it was embarrassing. Like, I'm 40 and I was acting like a teenager that drank too much, too many RTDs, you know. Yeah, but anyway, it's just a wee experience I thought I'd share. I don't know if it's gonna be funny or entertaining or help any of yous, but I'm sure you must get that same thing when you go out in public and you're dressed as yourself. It's just trying to control your mind and how it works, and trying to block out the negativity and dysphoric bullshit that goes on in your head. Sooner or later I'm going to learn how to do that, but you know, it's something that us trans women have to sort of deal with, and have to put that dysphoria in its place, really, because there's no other way to sort of live and be positive and happy about what you're doing, because you shouldn't have to feel like, oh, people think of me like this, when most of it's in your head. They don't think of you like that at all. It's like I mean, I got called ma'am yesterday 3 times, and even a little girl, she was like 10 years old, like totally thought I was a woman, and I found that really odd, because I thought like younger kids sort of can figure it out pretty quickly. You don't look quite right. So good things are happening. I'm just going to stop rambling now, but here's just a wee story of the couple of days ago. Thought I'd share. Yeah, I'll see you anyway on the next one.